With a bye week from football, we step away from the gridiron and onto the basketball court as Greg Gard and the Wisconsin Badgers get ready for the season opener coming up Tuesday night in Sioux Falls, South Dakota against St. Mary's of California, a team out of the West Coast Conference, a team that's also ranked in the top 20 in both the coaches and AP polls. We'll get you caught up on how things have gone as the preseason preparations come to a conclusion. We'll hear from some of the Badgers as well, and we'll have our sit down with head coach Greg Gard. All coming up on today's edition of the Badgers Sports Report.
High on the right, he is with Zach Hayes, throws it back to Ford, now to Kobe King at the right elbow, moves right of the lane, pushed it up in traffic, good going glass. And that's what they're looking for out of Kobe King. King, left sideline of the front court, finds Davis through the foul line, feeds Weavers, fakes the three, now steps back, takes the three, got it. Dave Reavers from distance. Brad right of the lane, steps top of the circle, throws to Ford, fakes the three, got his man up, drives in the lane, slam dunk. Oh, that's a show and go with authority, Aline Ford.
I just think it's great we get a chance to play these games. Just kind of shows us the things we need to work on so that therefore we are ready when we tip off against St. Mary's in our first game.
Just as a unit, we've kind of taken that step forward, really improved a lot since the red and white scrimmage, and I think we're ready for the regular season to compete against some of the best programs in the country.
This is Wisconsin basketball. Loose ball snapped up by King. Here's Kobe, goes to the goal, runs it up and in! Brevin Fritzel, his fourth from downtown. Strikes high, 4-3, good! Dimitri Trice again with a big shot. Davison for three, tied in! Blocked by Reavers, out of bounds.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Hy-Vee proudly supports the Wisconsin Badgers. And UW Health Sports Medicine, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org.
Winter in Wisconsin, it's a time for going all the way up and throwing down. It's a time for discovering something cool and gathering somewhere warm. Whether you want to spend winter inside, outside, or both, there's something for everyone in Wisconsin.
They are the ones who found a way to isolate a single prostate cancer cell hidden amongst a billion healthy blood cells. The ones pioneering advanced genomic testing in order to create personalized treatment protocols. They are the ones you want to talk to when the diagnosis is prostate cancer. They are the physicians and healthcare professionals at UW Health and the Carbone Cancer Center. UW Health. Remarkable.
The Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or L Directors Cup on Twitter. Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
Throwing to Anderson, feeds Wall on the left side. Trevor trying to direct a little traffic out there as Wall on the dribble down the lane to the rim, slam dunk. Tyler Wall with authority.
In the beginning, I was kind of nervous. Nerves were running high, but once first couple minutes went by, I kind of felt in sync and started playing how I was practicing, just in the flow of everything.
This is season number 121 for Wisconsin basketball. Regular season starts in Sioux Falls, South Dakota Tuesday night as the Badgers jump right into it, taking on a team nationally ranked St. Mary's out of the West Coast Conference. We'll touch on that opener here as we move forward with our first basketball show of the season. Well, Greg, there's always the anticipation, the excitement from the fan base with a new season. Obviously, you got a lot of guys back, not everyone. That's how it works. The most general of questions here is you've been able to work with your guys throughout preseason camp, a close scrimmage in there. What have you liked about this group? I know the season is just starting. The stories haven't been written yet, but as they prepare, what has impressed you about this group of Badgers this season?
I think you go all the way back to the spring, Matt, and how this all started to come together. Just the chemistry, the togetherness of this group. This has kind of been growing for the last couple of years of this, specifically with this group of juniors, as that wave has come through. They've set the tone for how the culture is and have continued what has been built here in the past. And then from a basketball standpoint, it's a lot of versatile guys. It's a lot of guys that can play a variety of positions. A lot of guys that can shoot the ball. And now you got to put that together in the form of 5 men on the team at one point in time and grow with it. And I think what I've seen here specifically when we got against Iowa State a week ago, just how from possession to possession and really from first half to second half, just things started to blossom and come together, and they were excited to see outside competition. I know that it gets to the point where after 20 days you're tired of looking at your buddy across from you, but it was good from that standpoint of seeing somebody else and adjusting on the fly and being in a game atmosphere with officials. And as I tell them all the time, I don't have 54 timeouts to go correct everything. You got to play and figure things out on the fly at times, and they did a good job of that. And now we continue to march down that journey of the regular season. You mentioned versatility. I know you've talked a lot about positionless basketball, and a lot of us, we think first of offense. But you've pointed out here, especially in the last week, that's both ends of the floor with some of the lineups that you can maybe put out there this season. Yeah, and I think what you've seen is because teams have gone positionless offensively, it's forced teams to maybe, or programs to look at being more versatile defensively, because you've got to be able to exchange a lot of things. There's a lot of switching going on, more than there was 10 years ago for sure, because you have more guys that can shoot the three, so you're trying to, and more that can put it on the floor. You got big guys that can put it on the floor, bigs that can shoot the three, so you're trying to cover up as much of that stuff as possible. And it's a chess match. It's kind of the game within the game and how you evolve as a player, as a program, as a system. How do we tweak with not changing our core values, but versatility and footwork is a big part of it. Newcomers with this team, let's start with Tyler Wall, young man, Lakeville, Minnesota, same high school. In fact, they were teammates for a time with Nate Reavers. You've always talked, even after he signed back last fall, about the basketball IQ, and he will continue to get bigger and stronger, but there is a toughness about him, I think, that you guys really appreciate. There is, and I think he's done everything we've expected to do to this point in terms of how he picks up things really quickly, and you don't have to repeat. I haven't had to say anything to him from when he got here the middle of June to now twice, and that's a good sign that he's listening and doing and following the instructions and improving his game. And he's put a lot of time into his perimeter game. Something he didn't have to really utilize when he was in high school. So, but he's active, he's long, he's got some bounce to him, and he loves to play, and he knows how to play, and he can play a variety of positions. Talking about versatility, that may be his, the best word to describe him of how versatile he is on both ends of the floor. So, he's going to be fun to watch, just grow and evolve, and as he gets more and more comfortable. He did that Saturday with Iowa State. Every possession that he got some experience, you could just see, okay, I can do this at this level, and it's fun to watch that grow. The elephant in the room in a basketball, a student-athlete standpoint, is Micah Potter continuing to wait this NCAA eligibility issue. How has the approach been from you and your staff, or the team's approach really, regarding Micah, the kind of work he gets, rotation, scout, with the uncertainty of his eligibility? Yeah, with that uncertainty still in play, he's remained with the scout group, and we mix and match a lot through the preseason. Even when we're playing games, I'll go good against good, or regulars against regulars, so to speak, just to kind of keep the level of practice at a higher pace. But with Micah, obviously, the team doesn't have to worry about that support in terms of what we're trying to do from a legislative standpoint, or what we're trying to do from a compliance standpoint with the department, working with the Big Ten and the NCAA, trying to push this through with what we feel is the right thing to do to make him immediately eligible, given what he has gone through already. So from the team standpoint, they've been very supportive. They've been great teammates around him, and Micah, you know, from the day he got here, has been a phenomenal teammate. He's made our locker room better, and I'm just excited for the chance to have him on the floor, for him to be able to play, because that, you know, as a student athlete, that clock ticks fast, and your eligibility's gone before you know it. And unfortunately, he's in a position where we're in a holding pattern right now, and to continue to push the appeal forward. And you know, at the end of the day, the one that pays the price for it is Micah, and that's the unfortunate part, that the student athlete has a very small window that they're eligible and can compete. And every day that the calendar flips, one of those days gets taken away. So we'll continue to fight and do everything we can.
Yeah, the frustration level, we can only try to imagine what it's like. Micah, just getting to know him a little bit, he is an adult human being.
Yeah.
Physically, emotionally, the whole deal, the way he's handled this has been probably a lesson for all of us, at least on the outside. Badgers getting ready for that season opener. Coming up on Tuesday night, a trip to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to take on St. Mary's. We'll talk about that and more as we visit with Coach Gard on the Badgers Sports Report.
This is where great things happen, where technology and discovery beautifully intertwine with compassion and care, where patients with the most serious of conditions come for the most successful of treatments. This is where you'll find some of the brightest minds in medicine, changing people's lives for the better. This is UW Health. And yes, this is where great things happen. UW Health. Remarkable.
Winter in Wisconsin, it's a time for going all the way up and throwing down. It's a time for discovering something cool and gathering somewhere warm. Whether you want to spend winter inside, outside, or both, there's something for everyone in Wisconsin.
Badgers up 11, 4:05 left in the first half. Pass for Noon, stolen away by Davison. Two Eagles in pursuit. Brad drives to the rim, and the layup is good.
That open floor, and something that we're all looking forward to taking advantage of. You know, when the floor is open, not only can you cut into it, but you can also dribble, drive, and create for yourself and create for others for knockdown shots. And it's me, Brevin Coey, but it's everyone on the team that can shoot. And that's a huge challenge. From being in the league for 2 years, I know how much of a challenge it is to guard teams that have 5 shooters on the floor. So that's definitely going to be a weapon for us, something we're going to try to utilize the best of our ability.
I mean, the biggest thing for me is just I feel like my play style is I'm versatile. I can do a lot on the floor, so I just feel more comfortable doing a lot than just shoot the 3 ball. So just whether it's defense or slashing to the rim, rebounding, posting. So I feel like physically my body has changed to where I can allow myself to do those things better.
I'm really anxious. You sit out for 2 years. I got a little taste of some games early. I definitely wasn't 100%, but that's not an excuse I'm going to make or anything. I think just every day, week by week, I just get more and more thrown at me, and my knees shown me that you can handle it. So I just gotta fall back on that and just really trust it.
There is a boy who likes tractors and trains, a boy whose heart was far too strained. He was sick, you see, with a heart that broke. His heart needed fixing, his family needed hope. Enter our doctors with their newfangled tests. Enter our teams whose care is the best. Healthy and happy, the little boy's back, playing with tractors and trains on his track. UW Health and the American Family Children's Hospital. Remarkable.
Wisconsin coaching staff this season will look a little bit different with obviously Joe Krabenhoft returns, Dean Oliver returns, but after the horrific auto accidents Memorial Day weekend, Howard Moore continuing his recovery. Orlando Tucker is on the staff for this season, and I guess I can't even say good news, but it's great to have someone like Orlando here, such a respected guy. as you continue. We all think about Howard, we all pray about Howard, and this team is always thinking about him, right? And we'll be recognizing him throughout the course of this season.
Yeah, the team has kind of adopted a slogan that, actually Coach Moore talked to the team before his heart attack at the end of June. Just how he was going to try to use his tragic experience with his family and to make himself better, to be a better coach, to be a better dad. And really what's come from that is do more, be more, and then we've added the number 4 more for the whole family, the Jen and Jaden and Jarrell and obviously Howard. So it's, you mentioned Orlando, it was the perfect fit at the perfect time given the graveness of the situation that everybody has had to walk through here over the last 5-6 months. He understood the program. Obviously, he's school's all-time leading scorer. He's been around here. He's been at the university here for a year, working in the athletic department. Obviously, a terrific career here, a great pro career, but also, probably more importantly, had a relationship with our guys and was very close with Coach Moore and his family, and the balance of all the emotions that go into that and the empathy that he understood. He wasn't replacing Coach Moore. He was, trying to carry on his baton, so to speak, and help our young men. So Orlando's done a phenomenal job, as has Joe and Dean. I couldn't have asked for any more for how our staff is. They don't teach you that in coaching one-on-one, how to handle that phone call that came on May 25th. So we're fortunate to have a lot of great resources and people around us here at Wisconsin, and the support has been terrific. As you mentioned, we think about Coach Moore every day.
Yeah, this is no smooth segue in this conversation, but as I understand it, Howard gave the message, you keep going, go get it. And the one thing about Orlando that I've noticed, and you cannot get into specifics here, of course, by NCAA rules in terms of recruiting, but I get the impression Orlando kind of digs it, being out there, getting on the road and
right.
meeting young men, and apparently things are going relatively well here.
Yeah, they are. We'll be able to talk about some of that later in the fall after signing day, but no, Orlando's, obviously he understands Wisconsin. He understands what's made us successful. He's been part of that. So that, combined with his credentials as a player, obviously he's got a great personality, and Coach Krabenoff and Coach Oliver have done a great job of kind of taking him under their wing, so to speak, and showing him the ropes. As I told Orlando from the beginning, the basketball's basketball, but the other stuff is where you're going to have to kind of learn and grow, and Orlando's been very receptive and ask the right questions at the right time, and I'm very fortunate as the head coach to have 3 gentlemen working with me as Orlando and Dean and Joe.
One of the fun things that I've had the privilege of watching in practice is when the former players come back. Now you have 2 of them on your staff, and Joe and Tuck are not afraid to get after it
right.
in the possession portion of practices. But in recent weeks you've had, if it's Zach Morley, Ben Bruss, Mike Wilkinson, that matters, right? Plus, they can teach these guys a lesson or 2 along the way.
There's a savviness and experience that grows in your game when you leave and have to play professionally against grown men. So, Throwback Thursday, actually, is what it's been coined. But we did. I could sense that our playing against ourselves, so to speak, was getting a little mundane, and they were getting a little edgy and antsy. It was time to have some outside competition, albeit, alumni. So it was a good couple weeks there where we did that for 2 days. It stirred the pot a little bit, got emotions going a little bit, because Coach Tucker, every basket he scores, he likes to let the whole gym know about it. So
nice.
it was good. So like I said, that helped us prepare for what we saw against Iowa State, and obviously I think that'll help our experiences as we go through here the early preseason.
I always kind of laugh because if it's your assistant coaches or guys like Wilkinson and Morley, they talk about how much they heard afterwards. I think they're sandbagging because they get in there between the lines and forget about it. They're going to get after it, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, all the aches and pains kind of disappear when the ball goes up. But it's been good to obviously have all those guys back around, the alumni. I love to have them back whenever they can. And there's getting to be fewer and fewer of them that want to go full court. They always say, Coach, can we just stay in the half court? Yes. But it's good to always see those former guys come back.
Well, I mentioned a little while ago, you guys aren't messing around in terms of scheduling, and I probably say that every year because it's true. You're jumping right into it, playing a team that is ranked in the top 20 right away in St. Mary's. And going back to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where the season began 5 years ago. Great facility and a heck of an opening night matchup.
It is. And just the day and age of the net and all the metrics that go into the computing the strength of your schedule and what you envision for postseason play and attempting to get there. And it was a necessary game in terms of we needed to add some more to our schedule and make it very competitive, not only from challenging us early, but also how it can help our schedule going forward. And we just happen to get St. Mary's, who may have the best team they've had there since Coach Randy Bennett has been there. So, you know, Gonzaga gets all the limelight in that league, but St. Mary's is actually beat them in the conference tournament to go to the NCAA tournament last year. So it'll be a phenomenal first game. I mean, we're going to learn a lot after that 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's a team that recruits internationally, to say the least, all over the world, and a team that will be a very, very good test for Wisconsin. Be a good test for St. Mary's as well, as they meet in Sioux Falls on Tuesday night, I should say. The Badgers have their regular season home opener coming up on Friday at the Kohl Center against Eastern Illinois. Coach Gard returns in a few minutes with the question of the week as we continue with the Badgers Sports Report.
Winter in Wisconsin, it's a time for going all the way up and throwing down. It's a time for discovering something cool and gathering somewhere warm. Whether you want to spend winter inside, outside, or both, there's something for everyone in Wisconsin.
The Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or L Directors Cup on Twitter. Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by UW Health Sports Medicine, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org.
Time for this week's question of the week, and we check in with Mary in Marshfield. Apparently she's become familiar with the world of analytics. Wants to know, Coach, what is Shot Tracker and how does that work?
Well, Mary, thanks for your question. I'm still trying to figure it out, actually. But basically, Shot Tracker is a GPS device that all the players wear. We have sensors throughout our practice gym and also here in the Kohl Center. And every player has their own identifying chip, so to speak. So our players are they wear it on their shoe during practice, in a jersey in games. It's sewn into the jersey. And we're able to track basically their movement, their load, their exertion, how many miles they put on, but also the basketballs are also chipped. And so we can track the flight of the ball, we can track shooting percentages, everything. So it's pretty soon we're going to have robots out there, Matt. We're just going to have a joystick and just move guys around. But analytics is becoming a big thing. Obviously, it's huge in the NBA. And there's a lot of companies that are trying to work their way into it, and there's a lot of partnerships going on with different companies. So still have to play the game. I think there's so much data that you can look at. But I always caution to make sure you don't get paralysis by analysis. We still have to, it's 5 guys, and we got to try to put the ball in the basket and don't let the other team do it. So
it's still a simple game in its essence.
We try to overcomplicate it at times, but Shot Tracker has been a nice addition to our evaluation tools.
All right, Mary, we appreciate your question. And before we conclude this first basketball-related show, we mentioned a few minutes ago the regular season home opener coming up on Friday night against Eastern Illinois. That will be a 7 o'clock tip at the Kohl Center. If you have tickets or you're going to get tickets, please get here early because there will be special recognition, Greg, for Coach Moore and his family, correct?
Yeah, we're going to, we felt it was appropriate to use the home opener as a night to acknowledge and recognize Coach Moore and Jen and Jaden and Jarrell. So we'll have some special pregame events planned that night. And also unveil, obviously in a home opener, our jerseys with the patch on them that has Jen and Jaden's name on it, as well as our shooting shirts, and the coaches will be wearing the 4 more lapel pin on it. So I know we'll have some video and some pregame activities or events going on to acknowledge and pay tribute to the Moore family. So yeah, if you don't have tickets, get your tickets and let's fill this place up for Coach Moore and his family.
Absolutely, very well said. Badgers are opening up their season on Tuesday night in Sioux Falls against St. Mary's, and then the home opener Friday here at the Kohl Center against Eastern Illinois. We thank you for watching the Badger Sports Report.
They are the ones who found a way to isolate a single prostate cancer cell hidden amongst a billion healthy blood cells. The ones pioneering advanced genomic testing in order to create personalized treatment protocols. They are the ones you want to talk to when the diagnosis is prostate cancer. They are the physicians and healthcare professionals at UW Health and the Carbone Cancer Center. UW Health. Remarkable.
Progress is an endless challenge. Here at the University of Wisconsin, we're a community of innovators in constant motion. We think on our feet, connect with each other, and hit our stride, pushing past limits. Progress is an endless challenge, but it is only those up to the challenge who change the game.